For the gift of life. Today is Wednesday, the midweek edition of our program Summit. My name is Banji Busari. So many things are actually trending across the polity. That's talking about the strike by the NS combined and the NLC and TUC over the passage of another bill that is removing the issue of minimum wage from the exclusive list to the concurrent list. Or you may not really understand this. We'll break it down in the course of the program. What does exclusive list means, and what does a concurrent list means as far as the minimum wage is concerned. My guest is here, and you actually do justice to the topic. We also bring you on the show today. You are aware that Zamfara has been at the center stage in the last couple of months when you talk about banditry, insurgency, and all forms of criminality. It has really caught the attention of the federal government, and federal government is decisively sending 6,000 troops to that state to actually quell all forms of criminality in that state. COVID-19, I've been following the delivery of over almost 4 million doses of COVID-19. That's AstraZeneca doses last week. The states have started receiving it. Lagos State is one of them, Ogun State too. Let's see how it goes. When will the second batch arrive? When will the second batch arrive, and how many people would eventually be able to benefit from this COVID-19 vaccination? Yes, you're welcome. It's a fresh edition of the program. Before we actually launch going today, let me just seize this opportunity to commend our government, Lagos State government, particularly over its efforts on infrastructure. And when I talk about infrastructure, you recall that only a couple of days ago, the state governor, that's Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, actually commissioned the Pen Cinema Bridge. The long-awaited Pen Cinema Bridge is ready and it's been commissioned and therefore used. Lagosians have been enjoying that bridge since Friday. I've been one of them. I'm the beneficiary because that's my route, and I've seen the difference. Of course, the travel time from my house to Ikeja in the past used to be about 2.5 hours. But since Friday, I spent less than 40 minutes, between 30 and 40 minutes to get to that. It's a wonderful one. It's a new lease of life, and I like to say kudos to our governor. That's my personal opinion. But my guest is here. I will seek his opinion too, to know whether he is also aware that things are happening, that our governor is actually performing. Join me in welcoming my guest today. Of course, our friend in the house, that's the familiar face you all know, our friend, legal practitioner, our friend barrister, Jide Ologun. It's our pleasure to have you again.
Thank you very much, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. You are welcome.
Yes.
Thanks for always acceding to our request, even at a very short notice.
Thank God.
Now, what's your opinion about this infrastructural drive of Lagos State government? The person in my bridge, I describe it as a new lease of life. I don't know whether you are aware of this effort.
Absolutely. If you look at the travel time within Lagos, when you have the traffic, it can be very traumatic. And for the government of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, I am saying from Olajide Ologun that congratulations. And it's quite remarkable that this is a project started during the last regime, and he has not abandoned it. And infrastructural development will hasten the national development we all crave for and try to oil the running of business activities, because time is very crucial in business. So when people find it easier to move around, then you can be sure that there will be business promotions within the communities. And then we pray that the other challenges that are in Lagos State, that we grant the governor and his amiable team the wisdom to tackle them. I mean, we know that Lagos State is a mega city by vision, and all the support that we need to give to ensure the realization of this vision, you can be sure we will give. So once again, great congratulations to Dr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu and to the people of Lagos, particularly to
people of Alimosho.
And interestingly, it's not just about people of Alimosho. Lagos is interconnected. A lot of people move from the mainland, even from Ogun State, to do business on the island, Victoria Island, Lekki, and they return the same day. So this is actually going to even help the health of some Lagosians. There are some who leave home around 4:30 a.m. and do not return home until midnight. And if you repeat that cycle in a matter of 6 months, definitely it will impact on your health. So we appreciate, and I also need to commend what I see, not just in the
area of infrastructure
area. Yes, if you go to Ikeja GRA now, the Lagos State government is carrying out a lot of laudable activities in fixing the roads, structuring drainages and things like that. This is what we deserve.
So you say the governor is actually working, is performing, and is delivering dividends of democracy to people of Lagos State.
Definitely, and of course that is the mandate of government anyway. So
all right, but we must thank him all the same.
He is carrying out the mandate, so kudos.
So kudos, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, for all these very wonderful efforts. Now, our issue for the moment, as we speak, on Obafemi Awolowo Ikeja here, you witnessed it. The Labour, that's Nigerian Labour Congress, has actually mobilized its members to move out, that's nationwide today, to protest vehemently against a new bill that is actually has passed a second reading in the House of Reps, and this bill is about removing the minimum wage bill issue from the exclusive list to concurrent list. As we speak, even National Assembly in Abuja has been blocked. Same here, the workers are actually moving towards State Assembly, Lagos State, and it's happening all over the Federation simultaneously. Now, first and foremost, what is this bill about? I spoke about concurrent and exclusive. I'm sure you're going to break it down.
You see, the exclusive legislative list contains matters that are absolute prerogative of the federal government. And under it, you have the management of mineral resources. For instance, you have the police, the military. And that is why when you begin to discuss security, the governor of a state cannot give order to the commissioner of police except they have good rapport. The order must come from above. And when you talk about concurrent list, it may be combined on state and federal legislative list. But in this case, I think the fear of the labor union is that when you now allow the states to absolutely regulate minimum wage, then you are subject to their sentiments. Because right now it's the federal government that will say, and what the federal government has done is that, okay, the minimum is 30%.
It's 30,000.
30,000 naira, right?
Naira.
And state governments are expected
To
pay
comply.
that as minimum. You may make it higher. But having said that, also in practice, we have seen that negotiations are going on. Some state governments are not even paying. So for me, I want the organized labor to go back and engage strategically. I took the pain of carrying out a research, and you will be amazed that the Nigerian Labour Congress as a team came up as far back as 1975 by some organizations coming together, trade union, workers and labor. And in 1976, during the regime of Murtala Muhammad, he was not comfortable with that movement. And a panel was set up to investigate and make recommendations. And they made recommendations to the government that the labor union will be promoting Cold War, getting funding from international bodies to dislodge the peace of the country. All right, but eventually in 1978, we succeeded in having NLC. But how effective it has been till now is a different question that we may need to answer.
Permit me to actually call for a short break. We'll go on a short break now. When we return, this issue would actually resume again. So stay tuned.
This is the much awaited 1.4 kilometer drug carriage flyover bridge at Agege Pen Cinema.
All right, it's still Summit. You're welcome. Before we actually went on that break, we were discussing the issue of exclusive legislative list and the concurrent list as being contested by the Nigerian Labour Congress and TUC. The protest is all over the federation. And so I was saying the National Assembly, in actually coming up with that bill, said that the minimum wage of 30,000 naira across board was more or less like limiting or maybe shortchanging even the workers, because some states have the ability to pay even higher than 30,000 naira. So putting it under exclusive list would actually limit such things to actually, they will also hold back. Instead of paying according to their capacity, would also work within the 30,000. So don't you see a kind of a good argument there?
I quite disagree with the position in the sense that no law will limit you from paying a higher rate if you can afford it. In fact, you should be applauded for it. I think the fear now is that it may give the state the authority to begin to even bring it down, given the excuse of low revenue. And for me, whether it is on exclusive list or concurrent list, the global expectation is that workers should earn reasonable living minimum wage. And if you look at Section 16 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, onto which all of us have subscribed, it says the same thing, reasonable living minimum wage. You can go and Google, is there. And so this argument for me is not, those who want to disregard the prescriptions will still disregard. As we speak now, it is in Section 14 subsection 2 of the Nigerian Constitution that 1999 is amended, that the security and the welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. Are we carrying out that provisions of the law? And like I said, when NLC started, it was very vibrant, but I think the body lacks sustainability. The steam is fast dwindling. At a point in this country, if NLC rises up, the government stands at attention. But today, it's like a toothless bulldog. And that's why I had to go into history. So it has always been like the government against the labor movement. And right now, we should be engaging substantive issues. Though this is the protest going on now, it's not just about the minimum wage management being removed from one list to the other. It's also about reducing the price of gas released for the generation of electricity to about $1.05. It's about attending to other issues that we have in the country that will bring back prosperity. So it's not just about the minimum wage.
Okay, talking specifically about the minimum wage now, what do you think would be the fares? What is the fare of the organized labor? Why are they actually protesting against?
Some states are not even paying. So if you now give the governors of the state the full prerogative, right now there's a prescription from the federal government, and you may not be able to go below that. And those who are not paying, how do you even enforce? So I think they don't want to go, and it will also weaken the power of the Labour Congress at the center. There are several issues going on here. It's just like when people are asking for restructuring, let's have regional government, and some are saying, no, this federal government is okay as it is. The point I'm making is that if we have prosperity in the land, you may not be bothered whether issues are managed on the exclusive list or concurrent. I give some examples of the indications of a developed society. You talk about high per capita income, like what you experience in Switzerland, in Singapore, and some other countries. You talk about good health management facilities, like what you enjoy in Germany. You talk about employment. You talk about respect for the rule of law. So these issues, and then you talk about security.
All right.
It is when you have the absence of these indices that you begin to flex muscle. Are they flexing muscle in the UAE?
Okay,
Over minimum wage?
As a nation, there have been several arguments about the type of government that is best suited for our own kind of situation. People have actually canvassed federalism a lot, many times, so many times, that federalism is the best form of governance that is best suited to us. Now, on one hand, we are actually arguing in favor of federalism. This bill, do you not think is in support of federalism, where you allow the states to determine their growth, their development, and capacity to do whatever they think is best suited for them?
By diagnosis now, the case of Nigeria is not federalism or no federalism. The case of Nigeria is greed and wickedness, mismanagement of resources. Not even the style of government we have, but the culture, the governance culture that we have. It is sickening to realize that you have 4 refineries as a country and they are not functioning maximally, and you spend billions of naira in the turnaround maintenance without benefiting from the turnaround maintenance. Right now, the country has experienced a balance deficit, the first in 4 years. And trade balance is the comparison between the value of your export and your importation. So right now, importation outweighs exportation, and that has impact on our external reserve. All right. Now, let me ask a simple question. In a situation where PMS, petroleum, diesel, and which is widely consumed and required for development in the country, is imported into the country, how can that country be rich? So we're not dealing with the fundamentals. So how we expect the labor organization to go and picket the government that our refineries must work, that the modular refineries which you promise us, they must work, that our health sector, the basic foundation for national development. Because what may happen now is that protests everywhere now, you see mobile policemen, you see task force, like a jamboree. In 1 week time, you are back there. When did we start increasing the pump price of petroleum? Now it's between 162 naira 50 kobo and 170, and we may be going to 200, even above 200. Even though the oil price is the crude oil price is going up in the global market, and some countries of the world are leveraging on that. So we are not dealing with fundamentals. We are only palliative, dealing with symptoms.
Okay, now the bill has actually gone to it's past the second reading at the House of Reps. Do you not see this move as being belated? And what do you think the capacity of labor, of the organized labor, is to be able to checkmate, to stop this process? Do you think they can succeed?
It's not belated. The Chinese say that the best time to have planted a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is now. So it depends on whether the legislators who are representing us will listen to the people. For me, it's about the availability of that minimum wage. Let's ask a simple question now. What is the inflation rate in this country now? It's above 16%. So even the 30,000 naira minimum wage is almost meaningless. What can you do with 1,000 naira daily in this present economy? These are issues. There is poverty in a country that is so blessed. So we should be moving in the direction of making the government accountable in the management of our resources. I just did a round trip around Nigeria, the Southwest, and if you see mountains and the blessings of God in this nation, honestly, you'll be worried that Nigeria is a poor country by manifestation.
So what's your advice to government now as we round up this discussion on this issue?
The essence of government is to enhance the fortunes of the people, and you keep improving on it. I've said it. Go and read section 14 to 17 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended. all these things are clearly stated there. And if we cannot achieve it, why do we now claim to be serving the people? So I'm not even talking about the system of government. I keep asking, what system of government is practiced in China? What system of government is practiced in Japan? So whether it's democracy or whatever it is about caring for the people. And democracy say is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So let's create employment. When are we going to have electricity in this country? When will the oil theft stop? When will the illegal mining stop? When will the bandits not be dictating to the government? When do we have peace in the nation? When do we have prosperity? When do we have upscale education in the country? Health sector. When will my first lady return to Nigeria and trust Nigeria to be secured enough for her to dwell there? It's a serious if first lady abandons
that would be a
the
topic.
state house, I think the elders should think.
We do
A
respect
woman
that.
wants to enjoy
We
the
do
prosperity of the husband.
We would actually devote a day
this
for that
are-
issue. But for this one, I think all you're saying is that government should actually listen to the yearnings of the workers to make sure that the 30,000 naira minimum wage is adhered to and implemented by all states, and
And
should
bring
stop
down
giving
the cost
excuse.
of governance.
Cost
Be
of
wise with our resources.
All right. As we even at that, you spoke about banditry and all that. That's where we're actually transiting to now, because even workers, even when they earn 200,000 or whatever they earn in a month, they still want to live peacefully. They want to live in a secured state, wherever they are in this country. The federal government, the recurring issues of insecurity in Zamfara, like other states of the north central part of this country, has actually caught the attention of the federal government. So much so that the FG is sending 6,000 troops to Zamfara as we speak to actually decimate the bandits in that region. Now, I'm asking, you said the problem in Zamfara bigger than that of Borno, for instance, or Yobe. So, or does the army have the capacity to deploy 6,000 to almost all states? So what could have warranted such what you may call a very ambitious and I don't know what ambitious decision?
You know, the commander-in-chief must have been advised, and he must have thought it wise to take that step. But for me, there must be security in the land. And in the case of Zamfara, it has escalated so much, it's already a global embarrassment to us. And on the capacity of the military to stop this crime going on in Nigeria, I say I have 100% trust in the capacity. But on the political will, I have serious doubt. And those who lean towards the political interpretation of what is going on, they have other arguments. But let's go into content analysis. I recall there should be a report on the 29th of December 2016 when the leader leading the Lafia Dole fighting insurgency in Borno State claimed that Shekau ran away from his fortress in Sambisa Forest and that they took his flag and Quran and that they were going to present it to the Chief of Army Staff to present it to the President. And at that time, the Chief of Army Staff retired. We were told that they will now turn Sambisa Forest to a training ground for the military. You remember? But today, the Boko Haram operations that was in the Bay region, talking about Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe, is almost throughout Nigeria now, under a new nickname, banditry. You see, so these are questions we are asking. And the former Chief of Army Staff has told us in office and out of office that we may be in this terrorism for another 20 years. And now we are giving 2 months to flush out for bandits to surrender in Zamfara. So when they surrender in Zamfara, you see what is going on in Niger State. The president of Chad led his troop to flush them out of Chad. They ran into Nigeria. An American citizen was kidnapped. The American government came to rescue their citizen. So It's like we are joking. I wish the government the best, but I'm just being practical this morning. So what is happening in Oyo State now, in Igogo? What is happening in Ondo State? You know, and look at the recent one now that Sheikh Gumi made a statement that the army is cautioning him. And the big question now is that what is the role of Sheikh Gumi constitutionally in the government of Nigeria? We are now, so bandits are now the ones to talk to us, to dictate to us, and we are claiming we cannot go after them because they wear military camouflage. Who gave them the military camouflage? There was a report today that the customs had to give bandits bags of rice. So you will now meet armed robbers on the way and give them bags of rice. And that supports the question some of us have been asking. Who has been giving them guns and the military uniforms they are wearing? In fact, in one of the dialogue with Sheikh Gumi, I understand one of the Fulani said that government gives them guns, that cows don't give birth to guns. So what exactly is going on in Nigeria?
Again, along this line, let me be curious enough to ask you. Now, with this, let me say, almost desperate decision to quell banditry in Zamfara, what if those bandits, for those 2 months, decide to actually relocate to maybe Katsina or nearby states? I mean, till the 2 months is over, and they now relocate or regroup. Because what's happening in Niger suggests that we cannot see Uhuru yet. After the release of the kidnapped students and all that, of course, there are daily cases of kidnapping, banditry in Niger as we speak. Do we have 6,000 troops to send to Niger too?
You know, sir, my
position
is very clear, and it's a matter of political will. Capacity, I trust the capacity of the Nigerian military. I mean, I will say that 12 midnight any day. But what does the government want to achieve? Now, back to content analysis. When Nnamdi Kanu was sounding you remember the Python dance. Where is Nnamdi Kanu now? Clinical finishing. When the peaceful...
Of course, Kanu's case is different from this.
We are talking about the capacity, military capacity.
Yes.
Now, when the NSAS protesters refused to vacate Lekki toll gate, what happened? We are talking about capacity. Recently in Olu, in Imo State, we saw capacity manifested. So why is capacity not working with these bandits?
You should ask the same military.
That's what we are saying. And that's
no, you should ask the same military.
You see, there can be
why
capacity.
Why are they able to quell the riot in Lagos State? That's the NSAS riot. Why are they able to quell the riot in Olu and unable to
I'm not in a position to... I'm not the commander-in-chief of the armed forces.
That's it. You just told me you could speak for as far as capacity is concerned.
I know they have the capacity.
So why is it impossible for them to apply the same?
I don't know, except that we can pick some isolated cases. For example, a General Denny specifically, said that they were ill-equipped, all right, and that these guys are more equipped. You saw what happened. So when you look at all these things, you move it more to political will.
But the IPOB is not more well equipped. It's not well equipped.
The commander-in-chief will answer the question, but one thing I know is that Nigeria can stop the crime that is going on now. And I have said it. I made reference in the case of NLC to when it started in 1975. We have people who have managed this country. We can tell you what happened under the Second Republic of Shehu Shagari, and everything happening under this regime now will be documented against the name of the president. You may not even remember in 15 years who was chief of army staff or who was minister of this or that. And that is but what I am saying is that it can be better. And what Nigerians deserve is prosperity. And what God has deposited for that prosperity, they are in overflowing measure in Nigeria. We don't have all the time. We can prove it. We've done research on it. We can talk about it. But is the political will there? Are we ready to take deliberate actions to secure the land? Rather, we are arguing whether some headers, criminal headers, it should be in the forest, and this one. No, it's sickening. We are losing a lot.
I need to sincerely thank you for your time, sir. Time will not actually permit us to go beyond this point, sir. I know your views, well canvassed. I'm sure it's gotten the right quarters now, and they are probably discussing, working on what you have said so far. I need to sincerely thank you for your time, sir, your thoughts. I'm hoping that at the end of the day, when we are reviewing this topic, this program, so you said it and it has worked. Because they listen to you. Barrister Jide Ologun, thank you so much for being our guest this morning.
Thank you, sir, and God build Nigeria.
God build Nigeria. God has always been on our side. We will triumph. We will get over this. That's our package today. My name is Banji Busari. Of course, we're going to the last segment of the program. That's talking about Lahas. Do you need land properties in a prime place? They have answers for all that at a very affordable rate. Let's go to Lahas now. It will be Monday again when I'll be coming to your screen.